And first time's the charm. Everything worked great, guys. It's
We
perfect,
did
and
it.
nothing ever is broken. Low, but yes. Perfect. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a game called Hey, these are new people, and they're gonna introduce themselves and talk, so I don't have to. Starting with Braggy, our newest player to the world of Vampire, and just a little bit about you, yourself, and whom you are playing. Please and thank you, sir.
You are most welcome, good sir. Hi, Internet. My name is Bruce, otherwise known as Harambe, and I am playing Braggy Gunnar, who is quite an enigma so far to all the existing people. I'd like to leave him as an enigma.
What?
Good.
It's not an enigma. It's a
It's not an
mystery.
enigma. We don't know you.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
enigma.
You don't know
I'm an
me yet. That's the
enigma.
enigma.
You're not
I'm
a
an enigma because
mystery.
I'm unknown.
Yeah, no, that's the point. You don't know me yet at all, and I am therefore an enigma that you have not encountered yet.
This is going great. This is going great.
That's awesome in so many ways. Okay. With that, with the enigma sorted, let's move on to Leone. How is that right? Did I pronounce that right?
Leon.
Leon. Okay. I flunked out of French. My apologies. Please introduce yourself and who you're playing.
I am playing. I am Lucille McCoy. I am playing Loen Barbeau, French opera singer, recently jet setting to the Windy City. She was born post World War II France. Growing up, what was the town we decided on?
The town that I was told that you were growing
Carcion.
up is, yes.
Eventually, she found solace in singing, grew up, went to Milan to study opera, and became the prima donna of the French opera. Soon after, she was embraced and has been singing ever since.
Excellent. And now, just because I think it's a good idea to do so, just a little reminder for everybody: if the returning players would like to kind of, well, actually, the returning players can just stay who they are. If you want to talk about who you're playing right now, you're more than welcome to, but I know that some of you might want to save that information for a little bit later. So, Mercy, our little ray of sunshine, would you like to kick us off for the returning players?
Sure. So I play Mercy Grace. She's not so recently a new vampire anymore, but she definitely doesn't know what she's doing, and recently nearly died and was humbled. Mercy was humbled, and so she's going to be a little bit different than last time we met her. But I'm excited to bring her out tonight.
Just keep it going. I remembered I got a thing to do.
Uh-oh. Are you memeing us already? I don't think you have time for...
I don't meme when I play because I don't have time. Yeah, unfortunately, my green screen antics are pretty much these candles behind me, and that's it. That's about all I got.
That's fair. Roland, go next.
Yeah, pass it off to whomever you want to go next. You tell them.
Fantastic.
I am playing Roland, aka DJ Julahan, Hound, and Protector of the Masquerade. Egret.
I am Scarlet. I am playing Ygritte, who is actually a ghoul created by Roland. My job is to be his manager, musical manager, but I somehow got roped into this coterie, and she's just along for the ride right now.
Mm.
Pass it.
Tog, you next.
Fun. So that's it depends on how much what looking at the icons in the game thing people have been doing. It's a little different than last time. Last season, I'm Raytog. I started running Chicago by Night, and my chronicle finished. And Matt here had such a good time that he decided that we were just going to keep going with it, and he was going to run it. So last time I was running a little somebody boy named Dirge, and just a young boy. He was some goofy punk rock mortician. But Matt let me know that things are getting a little bit more serious in the city, and that things are really going to start popping off. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to start treating things seriously. So tonight, and for the rest of the campaign, I'm going to be playing Antonius Giovanni. And we can probably leave it as that.
That is the proper response, Roland.
And I'll pass it off to you, which I think that cat's already out of the bag.
So I'm Jen or Yarga. I last time I was playing a Talia, the Banu Hakim. That's what she was. She was in town long enough to introduce herself to the prince, but made no real promises to stick around. So she is out of the picture for now. And those of you who remember Six, she is back.
Nice. You gonna shoot more grenades?
Oh yeah.
That was the thing that happened.
That should be a good time. We can all remember that. Good shot. Quite frankly.
Yeah.
Very
frankly.
good shot.
It was
Okay.
a really good shot.
Quickly, I've adjusted my microphone because I was way louder than everybody else in the call. But Egret's a little bit loud, and I think Roland was a little bit quiet, and then you're still a little bit quiet compared to all of the players in general, Matt.
Of course I am. I don't know how to fix it. It's a whole.
Turn us all down.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just talk really loud when I'm talking. I think that might be the best option. I can do that. That's easy. It's not like I have to talk the whole night. It's okay.
Mind.
How about, have you tried deep throating your microphone? Which is like really in there.
I can, but nobody wants to see it.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Love that. Love that.
Sorry. I apologize.
Just take it. Just take it deep.
Real quick, Scarlet, would you send me a link to the Twitch on Facebook so I can send it to a friend who wants to watch?
Ooh,
I will try my best.
I got you too.
Is this
Anyone.
better? Can you hear me better?
No.
How about here?
No, we can't.
Please don't.
No, we can't.
I mean, louder,
Yeah.
but not better.
Louder but not better. Okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
Now, if you could tone down the octave a little bit, that would just send chills.
I can't
No
win.
reason.
I can't win. I can't win. I can't. I'm not gonna try.
There we go.
That's where I'm at. Okay.
Okay, I think I got you.
Well, okay. With all of the lovely introductions out of the way, I want to start this off by saying something that I would probably finish out this season saying, and that is thank you all for being here. Thank you all for putting up with my manicness. Thank you all for being in my story. Thank you all for putting up with me murdering people you love and care about in the story. And really just being a devious leech that I am. And again, no biases at all. There's
You show off your
no
Ventrue
no
tattoo.
biases in this game in any way.
Uh-huh. Right.
And thank you for running us a game of vampire.
I'm happy, honestly, very much to have an audience for the manic ramblings that appear throughout my daily life. But we delve into our story tonight. Actually, pretty frequently from where we left, or pretty quickly from where we left off. Only a couple days have passed in this first scene. The kindred of Chicago, for the most part, there have been rumors, there have been gossip all around the streets, that the various clubs, alleyways, holes in the wall that would, deal in that sort of scuttlebutt. They know what went down at the Master's apartments. They know the players involved, and they know, more importantly, that the Prince fended off the attack adequately, and that has garnered some support. There are others within the city of Chicago, while these events are taking place, uneasy about the position of Kindred in Chicago. Their support is less sure. However, it is in these early nights after the attack, the dust, the rubble cleaned up, glass replaced, that we find ourselves in the penthouse once more with the lovely, as always, Magdalena Masters. Again, not biased anyway. She sits there, she's looking over some documents, calmly, quietly, a little bit of classical music on in the background. When the ding of her penthouse elevator opens, and we hear, or we see rather, a couple of familiar to Maggie, some of you as well, faces. We see the wonderful and beautiful Six, whom I don't have a separate picture for, sadly.
We can fix that.
Yeah, I noticed you have a character picture, but I don't have it.
There's new art today.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But I do have one
Oh, please.
for a Mr. Giovanni. Is that the photo that you would like to keep? Okay.
I've tried really hard to make friends with him.
You can try all you want. That is always an option.
He thinks I throw nice parties. That's canon.
He says
I wasn't
he
there
thinks
to
you
hear
throw
it.
nice parties. That's canon. We'll see.
One moment. Un momento, por favor. And once more, I say, the introductions. We have a lovely Giovanni, And he is accompanied, as he used to be always, by a very familiar companion that is 6. The ghoul who climbed her way up to become embraced, to become the kindred that she was always meant to be. As the elevator doors open and you two step off, Magdalena sets down the documents and she stands up and she greets you as she would a very old friend. Kisses on the cheek.
Hmm.
No physical touching. She's not really into that a whole lot. But more importantly, she leans down a hand for you to have seats. Get yourself comfortable. And as you do, you find yourself sitting across in a very reminiscent to this situation here. Maybe you took the 2 seats to the left and she's on the couch. She looks at you very contemplative and she says, "Well, my dears, I must say that it's lovely to have you back in the city. I wish it were under better circumstances. I do apologize for the red tape and all of the fun. I received your letter, but I didn't have quite the time to respond in the manner that I would have before. I've become very busy these nights, Tony, and I hear that you've come with potential to make me even more busy."
Potentially. Although, first and foremost, once again, congratulations, Prince. And all of the good and extra work that entailed.
It's rather a lot.
And ceremonies aside, it is good to see you again.
And you as well. I'm glad that your work was, well, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm glad it was cut short.
Yes. Yeah, that is a bit of a long story, and we'll have to probably go in on that later when both of us have more time. Lots of things are clearly pressing. Did you read the letter?
I did. I read the letter, and I have questions, but I respect your privacy.
I am less interested in privacy, and I'm more interested in potentially making very powerful allies. And to do so, it seems all we must do is exactly what we set out to do in the first place, keep upholding the masquerade. There are other details that I would like to bring into this, but... And Antonius does reach into his jacket and pull out a little piece of paper and says, "I would not like to speak these things aloud, as I am not sure of the capabilities of our new friends."
I assure
And-
you this apartment is very well secured these nights.
Antonius nods, but he fixes her with one of those looks and just slides the piece of paper across. And I'm going to send you exactly what's on the paper, except I copied a picture. It's all messed up. See, now I'm messing things up.
Yay, it's not just me.
It's not just you.
I'm just imagining Maggie like, oh goody, homework.
I do not do homework, dear. I get
There it
people to
is.
pay for me.
And he passes that across and just sits back, watches.
Okay. Now, this was discussed before this game
Mm-hmm.
that you wanted my legitimate reaction to this information.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie, very, very good at maintaining composure. Always has been. For a moment, you do see the eyebrow raise. She pauses. She looks at you silently.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. Is that even
Prin-
the real? You're sure?
I am, and 6 is almost certainly 95%. It's possible it is a ridiculous, extravagant, impossible ruse. Almost certainly not.
And this organization, can we be sure that they will maintain their, I guess, distance from us? Should we...
As far as I understand, as long as we continue to be Camarilla and maintain the masquerade and do all of the things that we were meant to do from the start, yeah. If we can self-police, as it were, it seems they're not interested in conflict. From what I understand, the only thing that would make conflict even possible would be if we pulled a Sabat. Which I don't believe is in anyone's interest.
Tony, you know me. We've known each other for some time now. I like to face my problems head on. I go into these conflicts with a degree of self-assuredness that I will win. I can't win this. This is unwinnable. It's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fool. I won't abandon this city. But this is a fight that none of us could win.
Which, Prince, is my goal to keep things on good terms. I will be, of course, reporting back to you everything that I know and I learn, and we learn in Egypt 6, who is also been invited to participate. So, for now, my purpose in Chicago is to serve at your discretion and help the masquerade be, and make sure that we are exactly as we're supposed to be, nice and quiet, and we can play all our little games and have all of our little dramas, and as long as we don't spill out into complete anarchy, then I think we'll be fine.
Define complete anarchy.
It sounds like I've missed a lot. Would you be so kind as to help bring us up to speed?
Ah, yes. Let me give you the... What did she call them? Spark notes? Something to that nature.
Ah, dead gods, I've missed you, woman.
I've been informed that there's some form of notation. never mind. Point being, the lycanthreat, which you were privy to,
Hmm.
has all but abandoned us. And so far, and this is very private information,
Hmm.
we can't 100% figure out why.
Hmm.
Leaving that there, the Sabbat is making moves, of which I hope to have some more information come court in a couple of weeks. 3, well, did you ever hear the stories of a gentleman by the name of Sir Olaf? The One-Eyed King?
Was that not a previous prince of the city?
Yes, believed to have died. Annabelle assures me. However, based on the reason that I had to spend a small fortune replacing these very expensive windows, he's not. And he ran away like a little bitch before I could ensure that he was.
Oh, that is in the wind. Ah, well, just gives me more things to work on. Excellent.
I also have a bit of a new party trick, you could say. Best reserve it for later. I'm sure you'll hear rumors of it. But I've picked up some new tricks from my old friend Jack.
Ah. I see.
So, that's the top of my to-dos. On smaller notes, we are having issues with riots amongst other kindred. We do have a bit of a new uncharted territory for the CAM, as a matter of fact. The Labyrinth. Are you familiar? You delved into circles of the occult before. It appears to be a unique location here within the city.
My associate did, on his way out, fill me in a little bit, and from a leather messenger bag pulls out a book. He's left me with several mysteries.
I know not of what that book is. However, I trust you will take a studious look at it. I must say I do highly appreciate your recommendation of Dirge. He was a very useful ally in the fray. Actually, it was, I think, in large part to him that Olaf's power was waned in some way. It was beneficial.
Dirge is a excellent operative. He is more adept at those arts than I am, which is why I offered to send him back to the clan. We've swapped places, as it were. I think he can help them. He's actually considerably older than I am, and I think his knowledge digging into those mysteries will help the clan as a whole, but Chicago is in need of things, and I would not see it abandoned before I discovered all of this nonsense.
I believe nonsense is a good term here. And fortunately for all of us, the nonsense only ever continues in this city. It seems that once we put out one fire, 10 more spring up, and not always the metaphorical kind, but preferably those.
Mm-hmm.
I will also I would also like to put you into contact with a new associate of mine. Goes by the name of Clancy. I've appointed him the official regent of the labyrinth. He will speak for them should they need a voice, and he has at least publicly and privately, to my knowledge, sworn his allegiance to this cam and to me. I believe that that's probably as far as it goes. I would imagine that should any of my promises fall false, or any undue extravagant issues before the labyrinth, they would pull their support, but I've given him my assurances that that would not, at least diplomatically, ruin our relations. I fully understand that. So,
You impress me. Ever a builder of roads.
oh,
There aren't a lot of princes that'll do that.
well, you know where I come from.
I do.
The gutter for me. One last thing, and something that you probably are already familiar with, but bears repeating in a formal introduction. And at that, Maggie will kind of snap her fingers, and from like a back little office space, a woman comes out. And Maggie looks to her with you've seen Maggie talk to many people of all different castes and creeds. Maggie gives this woman respect and says, this is my new seneschal. She will be handling the less pressing matters of my day-to-day. A very trusted ally from my past, and one that I hope becomes an asset for everyone in the future. This is Fee. The woman takes her glasses off, very similarly to this image here. Gloves on her hands. She seems to be pretty well clad in garments. Not like full PPE or anything, but kind of in a germophobic way outstretches her hand to shake it.
Tony stands and extends his hand too. They are also notably gloved. Very rarely will you catch Tony without wearing dark leather gloves that kind of fit with the whole black suit. Shakes. I read your response. I was surprised to see that Magdalena had taken the seneschal, but if she trusts you, I trust you.
Well, I can assure you that I am loyal to Miss Masters. She owes me nothing, and I am indebted to her for the rest of my life. So, I hope to work with her in the future.
And Tony will bow a little bit and step a little bit off to the side and gesture over to Six and said, and this is my associate and clanmate Six.
A pleasure to meet you. I've heard the stories of your amazing marksmanship. I believe that your reputation precedes you in that regard.
Six will rise from her seat and kind of offer kind of a polite bow. Someone's a little too kind.
And Magdalena will, at that, looking at you, Six, having worked with you on a more personal level, go, "It wasn't me, dear. I didn't say a word about you.
Hmm.
Though I do find your company rather entertaining."
I'm sure it has nothing to do with her ability on the piano either.
Hmm.
I've heard. With that, though, Fee will politely kind of give a nod to both of you and go, "I have much work to do. However, if you need anything, please let me know." And she will once again skitter off into the room where she once came. The silence that falls on the room when Fee leaves is punctuated very abruptly by a buzzing sound in Magdalena's jacket pocket. And she looks down and she pulls out a cellular telephone from the 80s. It is old. And holding it in her petite hands, it looks even bigger than they once did in the 80s. And she goes, "I must get Roland to teach me how to use one of those newfangled devices. I don't know if I... Should I? I don't know. Excuse me,
Be
one
true
moment."
to yourself.
And she excuses herself and she goes out into the balcony to leave you two to discuss anything that you might want to for approximately 5 minutes or so. And then...
Not a word is spoken, just looks.
Okay.
Yep.
Returning into the room after the 5 minutes or so of the conversation, looking more annoyed than anything else, she goes, "Well, as much as I love the company of old friends and would love to spend more time catching up, the matters of the prince are always progressing in ways that are annoying. To that end, I would politely ask for our evening to be concluded, unless there is anything more pertinent that needs to be brought to my attention. I trust you, and you know that anything that you need, Tony, Six, anything in this city that I can provide for you is not out of the question. You are welcome here as anyone is, perhaps more than some."
No, I thank you, and same to you. If you need anything, you are the prince. We are at your call. Let us know, and if you do find the spare second, drop by the house sometime. It's nice. Maybe you get to see the new piano.
That does sound lovely. If I get a spare moment and my new daughter isn't creating problems for me in some way, I will definitely do such a thing.
I want to ask you about that, but
Explain to me
understand.
briefly. Explain to me, what about me is bleeding heart? Why me? Why do I always adopt the strays? Do I give off what did he say? What did Roland say? A vibe? Do I give off a vibe?
Try so hard not to laugh in front of the Prince of Chicago.
Prepare to fail.
You help when you can. You do not build to own, you build to help. And that will be seen one of two ways. Either as you intend it to be, or as it can be used. But we both know that.
Yes, I believe we do.
If it means anything, it's one of my favorite things about you.
I do take comfort in that. I will not deny that despite the headaches that are wrought, sometimes it is worth it. Again, I must go, but do you know that she picked a fight with Annabelle? Yes.
What?
I don't fucking know. I told her no. She didn't get my
what?
meanings. Should I be more forward? I don't. I digress. I apologize. You must go. I must go. We must attend to our issues. Oh, children. I'm glad I never made any of my own.
If I'm adding, if you need to vent to the list of reasons to stop by, but whenever you need us, and he will do the. I assume the prince of the city is wearing a big ostentatious ring.
No. No rings.
No,
No.
he'll look for one, not see one, and shrug, and reach down and make a show of kissing a ring that isn't there.
Okay.
Doing a little bow, and then, well, she probably would pick up on this. A little military about face, and start to head out.
Magdalena returns the small bow to you, and on your way out, you will just hear from behind, expect your invitation to court promptly. And please stop in and see Will.
Excellent. Going.
And with that, you both return to the elevator. You are on your way down if there's anything that you would like to say. Otherwise,
So in the elevator, just me and Six.
Mhm.
This daughter is going to kill her. Not like actually get her killed by ineptitude or anything. Her heart doesn't beat, and she's going to have a heart attack. I saw it in her eyes.
With that, the city of Chicago, always something going on. Always people moving any hours of the night. Do you stop and see Will immediately, or will you return to do that another day?
It depends on what would be best for the flow of story. Could very much could drop by Nova and see what's going on, or if Will is just in the building. Is this attached? Remind me, is this attached to the club?
You would know and be privy to the underground entrance that connects both Nova and the Master's suites via the tunneling systems. Yes.
Yeah, so while we're here, I might as well drop by and see what's going on in an Elysium I haven't been in quite a while.
You make your way up to the lovely bar of Nova. You do notice that Valerie is not tending bar this evening. There is just another couple of women there tending the bar. No familiar faces. Nova's actually kind of quiet tonight comparatively to other nights that you've seen. But you know of where Will's office is, and approaching the door, it opens before you get there.
He raises the hand to knock, and
And the very well-dressed and professional-looking Will appears at the door, and he goes, if you're back in town, does that mean I'm gonna get shot more or less?
That's an excellent question. Hopefully less if you're standing behind me, and he'll reach in front or reach out to shake his hand.
He grips your hand and he goes, Well, since I'm always standing behind Maggie, usually she takes a lot of those bullets, but sometimes they get through. And even though, I got that healing, and he looks at Six and he goes, I'm talking about that extra little bit. It ain't the same. It still hurts like a bitch.
You'll get used to it.
What do you think? What do you think the over/under is on her giving me the Six treatment here, Tony? What do you think? You think Maggie will ever do it?
Honestly, like 70-30. Like
70-30?
pretty
That's
good.
not bad. I'll take those odds. I am a
She
gambling man.
she is loyal to those who are loyal to her, and I respect that.
Nah, I agree with that. 110%, I'd have to say. Oh, shit. Fuck, where did I put those? And he kind of goes back in his office for a minute, ruffles around. He comes back out and he goes, "Here, these are for you." And he holds out 2 key cards for both of you.
Okay.
Maggie said that you get full run. Everywhere, anywhere. Full access. Don't lose them. They are tied to you, specifically. So, you lose them.
Understood.
Bad things happen. To me. Usually to me. But that's beside the point. Yeah. Otherwise, welcome back, guys.
Thank you. And only one piece of advice, although I'm sure our kind is giving you advice all of the time, and it's probably getting old by now. That promotion you're talking about? It's good. I'm not gonna lie about it, but enjoy what you have now. Food is really nice. Being able to walk around in the middle of the day is really nice. Not occasionally forgetting that you're supposed to fake breathing to make everyone around you comfortable. That's nice too. It's not all bad.
All fair points. I do enjoy the sun. For now.
You'll also miss the taste of coffee and liquor, I will say that.
Oh, fuck coffee and liquor. I don't know if I want it now, guys. I really don't.
You can drink from someone who has had coffee and liquor. It's not quite the same, but it's a little bit. I don't know. Either way, I don't think it's anytime soon. You know how she likes to play her games. They take a while. So, as much as I've known her, it did take her... Let's see, when did she first come to the city? About 15, 20 years before she even let me know what she was. The whole time I thought, man, she's got really good skin. Nope. Just... Technically, you weren't wrong.
Yeah, suppose. Oh my god. Oh, real quick, before you guys go. Did she tell you about Mercy? That kid is fucking crazy. Annabelle. Annabelle,
thing?
right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she did mention that briefly.
I'm not in it.
What happened?
Okay.
What happened?
Here's what went down. Here's what I know. All right? Here's the little bits that I know.
Okay.
Started poking fun. Started taking issue with things. Decided she was gonna do some sort of like art thing. Annabelle snatched it up. She's got fucking contacts all over the city, so she snatched it up just to be a dick, just because it's Annabelle, right?
It's Annabelle.
It's Annabelle. Yeah.
Then instead of just being like, okay, I get it, I don't want to play this game, you're scary, she doubles down, right? Fucking doubles down. I swear to God, I don't know what's going through her head. I don't know what happens. Maybe it's like a change thing. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Either way, headaches all day. I am still glad I can take Advil. That's nice. Doesn't work as well, but take as much as you need, right? So.
Sometimes more.
Most times. Okay. All right. Well, you two, I'm sure you got shit to do, and it's quiet around here. I'm bored out of my damn mind. I gotta go back. I'm watching Shogun on Hulu. It's great. It's a
I
fantastic
hear
show.
that's good.
It's a great
I hear
show.
that's good.
All
Last
right, good
piece of
night.
advice before I walk out the door.
Yeah, yeah.
These boring ass shitty nights.
Oh,
Remember them.
I love them. Yeah, they're great. I still feel
That's
the
it.
12 gauge pellet. Anyway, it's fine. Okay. And with
Good
that,
luck, Will.
you are
Mhm.
free to go about your nightly business.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody doing as far as needing breaks and things? I know it's mostly been sitting for many of you.
I touched my dog who has a yard now, and I have dirt hands. But
Time to
as
wash
long as I don't
hands?
touch anything, it's fine. So
Dirt hands are nice.
As long as you know it's dirt.
That is true.
I'm more concerned that it's the loose dirt that I'm using as garden beds than I am, but that it might not be dirt.
So we should wash hands.
I'm not saying we should take a break because of it. That's how I'm doing.
We
I have a
could.
dirty hand. I'll be sitting here doing this.
I can go
It's
for a break
not-
real quick.
Something that
Okay.
makes me
Let's do a break. Let's do a break.
We will do
That's the vibe.
a quick little break. I forgot that was set that way. We will do a quick little break. And we'll be back in like 5-10 minutes or so, and move on to some other nights. And thank you all again for being here. It's the fun. Next one's fun. Trust me, it's a good time.
I
So-
trust.
I had a great time. This was great. So you have heard of me then?
Not wrong.
But not in a good way.
On that note,
Mm.
Mercy.
Of course, anytime you need it.
Yeah. Thanks. We'll be back in 5-10. Okay. Thanks. Switch to spring.
Don't forget to mute it.
unmute.
I'm clean.
Are you
Yay.
clean? We've returned. We have returned, and it is lovely to see you all once more. And now we get into a less sophisticated evening. Several nights pass. We come to ourselves on, or rather following, someone walking home. Let me just move this so no one gets spoilers. A young gentleman, well dressed, on his way home. What are you on your way home from, Braggy? Were you out partying? Were you out working? Were you out having just a nice little stroll in the Chicago air?
Let's see. Bragi, what night is it? Is it a Wednesday night?
Let's say it's a Wednesday night. Yeah.
Bragi would have just finished playing a charity concert for one of the orphanages in Chicago with his band, the Ironheart Devils, a relatively well-known local band to Chicago. And Bragi is just enjoying the nice night air of Chicago walking home, since the venue wasn't too far from where he lives.
You know, the funny thing about that venue and kind of where it's located is it goes. Well, Braggy, it's a long walk home, unless, of course, you were to cut through the cemetery, which is not there's a cemetery right to your left that you're walking by, and it would save you a little bit of time.
Well, Bragi supposes cutting through the cemetery wouldn't be the worst way to get home on this fine evening, since he does want to pay some respects to some old friends and colleagues of his from his part-time tenure as a professor at a local college as well. He's a man of many talents. What can I say?
See, that's why I like you, Braggy. You're adventurous. You're willing to take risks. So, as we find ourselves meandering through a lovely scenic cemetery at night, the moon illuminating much of the path, though some scattered lights do grace the walkways. It's quiet. It is a Wednesday night. Not a whole lot of people out. The air is cooler than it should be. The lights flicker. The path illuminated only by the moonlight. And the cool air probably creating a fog on the ground to some degree. Bragg, I would like you to go into your character sheet for me.
Okay.
So go ahead and open that up.
Yep.
And I want you to click on the button that says awareness in your skills.
Which one?
So if you go down into skills, there's a button
First
that says
roll.
awareness. Go ahead and click that, and it will ask what you want to roll with it, and you want to pick awareness. Or, I'm sorry, wits.
Did I click the right button? Hang on.
I don't know. We're going to find out together.
So there's a little dice on the word.
Awareness.
Cams keep bouncing.
Wit, you said?
We lost Lucy.
We lost to
She's gonna-
Lucy.
Yep.
Coming back.
Okay, I'm not going to change
Oh,
anything
let me
right
do the
away.
thing. Oh, that's why. That's why. I just missed it. Hang on.
Oh.
Cancel that. There we go. It was hidden behind my screen. That's
There
why.
we go.
Perfect.
Oh, damn.
And
I was going to say, quick, roll things for Tony.
Full size modifier.
The pool size modifier you can put at 0.
Input difficulty. Do I just?
It's asking difficulty.
Yeah.
Difficulty you can put at 0 as well. Or 1 if it requires a positive number.
Oh.
Beautiful. So, Bruce, here's how the dice rolls work in Vampire. Essentially, we have D10s. You rolled a 10, which is a critical success, which is fantastic. However, the problem with this is you also had 2 failures. So anything below a 5 and below, is considered a failure. With this roll, it's kind of like a perception roll in D&D. You're kind of gauging your surroundings. And whereas your rogue in Tog's game of D&D Galactic was very adept at seeing things and staying hidden, you might be on the other end of things right now, in that even though you don't see anything, you feel as though you are being followed. You feel like a deer in a forest of wolves. And there's this moment where you kind of like look around and actually try and perceive your surroundings and see if you can see anything. And the hairs on the back of your neck stand up in a way that you might not have felt since you were a child. This palpable fear raises the bumps on your arms, and it feels almost as if it's choking from you the breath in your lungs. And in that moment of absolute fear, your eyes roll back in your head and you lose consciousness. There is brief glimpses, feelings of pain. Your neck hurts bad. Your shoulders hurt. You're cold. You're laying on something hard and very uncomfortable. You feel tired, but hot, but cold and clammy, and so many uncomfortable feelings. When your eyes finally do open, you have no conceptual metric for how much time has passed. You're cold, you're hungry, but you don't know why. You find yourself awake in what can only be charitably described as a crypt of some description. Stone walls surround you, iron bars block your way of leaving that you are able to see, and all all around you in stained brown markings looks like blood of some kind. In the corner of the room, immediately upon regaining consciousness, you smell the acrid smell of death, and you know it to be death immediately. It's overwhelming. Not unpleasant, but overwhelming. Piles of human corpses lay strewn along the wall. Not skeletons. Fresh human corpses. What would you like to do?
Raggy looks at this in what can only be described as fearful disgust and confusion. But he kind of would like to look around the room and go to the bar. You said there are bars that he see?
Like an iron grate, similar to this picture. There's an iron grate kind of blocking the inner doorway. You can see beyond the iron grate that there appears to be a wooden door that would presumably lead to the outside.
Raggy says, I don't know where I am, but I feel like I have to get the hell out of here. And he will go to the iron grate and see what he can do with that.
There's a chain around the middle bars with a large padlock. Notably, the padlock is on the inside, not the outside.
Well, that's weird. Why would the padlock be on the inside? Um, Braggy would like to look for a key.
Give me that same roll of wits and awareness, or if you would prefer, if you have a dot in investigate, or dots rather, in investigation and wits, you could use that instead. Whichever one gives you the
Awareness.
most bonus.
That doesn't matter.
I didn't think it did.
Any pool size, yeah, any pool size
Oh.
modifier is still 0.
Oh,
Still 0. In fact, it would be a -1 because your eye is a little matted
Oops.
with blood.
Oh, try this.
It's
So
okay.
awareness. That's
Oh,
-1. Difficulty.
The difficulty is 5.
What?
That's what I thought.
Oh boy.
You are stuck in
Well,
this cage.
fuck.
Trapped in this concrete prison, presumably, and you're not the one that locked the gate, but it is locked from the inside. Now up to the bars, you see the doors beyond the iron bars also have a padlock on them from the inside.
Oh, this is getting weirder and weirder as time progresses in this cage.
That feeling that you felt when you were still conscious before. The hairs on the back of your neck, the skin on your arms, begins to raise up. From somewhere in the room. And it is a substantially large room. Plenty of shadows creeping about, tall ceilings. Well, well, well. It looks like one took. I was unsure if I would be able to make one these nights. You must
Braggy.
be strong.
Braggy slowly turns around and starts to search for the source of this mysterious voice.
As you turn around, the voice continues to speak, but now sounds like it's behind you once more. I didn't expect it to be so soon. In fact, I thought there would be 10 more before one would take. Oh, this is a pleasant surprise. He will be so pleased. You must be hungry, little one. How does the flesh and the blood smell from those failures? And as the voice says that, it's almost like the voice is thrown in a way that directs your attention to the pile of corpses on the floor. But you still see no source of this sound.
Wonderful. I don't know what's going on here, but I need to get out of here.
Oh, in due time, you'll be free. But stay for a minute. It's been so long since I've spoken with anyone, especially my own child. Do you know what you have become? Do you know that you've become so much more?
I haven't the foggiest notion of what I've become. What are you on about?
From the corner of the room, deep, deep in shadow, you now notice something that you didn't before. Whether because you are so into this moment, your eyes have adjusted to this new form, this new feeling. You feel pretty good. In the shadows, though, you see two small pinpoints of glowing light. The shine of a predator peering from seeming void of darkness right at you. My beloved, so opportune, you will help me accomplish so many great things.
Bragi just looks towards this mysterious stranger and asks, "Who are you?"
I'm your mother, dear. I've burst you into this dark night, given you a gift. Oh, such a tantalizing gift it is. Something to keep you whole until the end of days.
That's very ominous. I was more referring to what's your name?
Names. What is my name? I haven't heard it spoken in so long. That's irrelevant. We have much to do. There are things, festering pustules in this city that must be excised. We must remove them. Tell me, my boy, tell me, do you know what you do with an infection? Do you know where you start?
Not a doctor. I'm a software engineer, so I haven't the slightest clue where to start with an infection proper.
Let me put it into terms that you might understand. When you have a problem, when you need to remove something, how do you do it? Strangle it at the root? Cut off its means of life? The silence is punctuated by a very loud clank. The chains on the door of the inner sanctum fall to the floor with the loud, shocking thud. You find yourself unable to refrain from jumping at this moment in time. The pinpoints still remain.
I suppose yes. To your analogy there, I guess you would cut an infection off at the root, the source, take away everything it can use to keep growing, and eventually it dies off, right?
That is the idea. You see, you have skills that I lack, that we lack, that they lack, that no one has but you. You do. They did. The voice gesturing once more to the corpses on the floor. Yes. All chosen, all picked, all pruned, and put right here. Put here to see if you have what it takes to help us accomplish what we need to do. Do you know what that is? Can you think of it? Can you imagine it? A world of free from infection, free from the disgust that has washed over us all.
I'm sorry to say I'm a little confused on some of the finer
No
details here.
worries here, dear. You must take time to acclimate, to ingrain, to know what you are. The silence a brief moment, again punctuated by the loud clang and dropping of the second padlock, presumably to the outside. My dear boy, my son, my child, you will accomplish so many things that you don't even know. Soon. We'll speak again soon. From the shadows, those pinpoints begin to provide a little more light. A little more comes from this void of darkness. You see emerging from this shadow a figure. And as it comes fully into frame, she smiles at you with rows of teeth and says, "Run along. Be a good boy now. When your time is needed, I'll find you." And she is gone.
The hell? Shit. How do I get out of here?
The two chains that were locked.
She sired a dumb one.
Software engineers, you win some, you lose some.
No, Bragi's just absolutely dumbfounded and confused. Like, he knows logically the door is that way. He needs to get out. But he's just like so confused by everything that just happened. He can't, like, emotionally, he can't fathom logic right now. He is terrified
Good.
to the point of
That was
inability
very fast.
to act. But he pulls himself together. He kind of gently slaps his face a little. Come on, Bragi, you got this.
When Bragi
And, he
pulls
walks
his hands away from his face, you do notice they're covered in blood, and
Oh God,
chunks.
what the hell?
Every
did
young
I
vampire
do?
needs chunks.
Bragi, before he starts heading towards the door, he's going to look at the corpses that have donned this area, and he's going to try and figure out if he did this. He killed these people.
That's pretty good. Go ahead and give me awareness and wits once more as you look over these bodies to see if you can make heads or tails of the situation. For this, actually, I'll give you a +1 to your dice pool modifier for
Okay.
reasons that will become apparent in a moment.
And difficulty?
And the difficulty is a 1. Excellent. How long have you been a software engineer, Braggy?
Braggy would have been a software engineer for roughly 5 years at this point.
5 years. In that time, you've probably worked at a few different places around the city. Yeah?
Yeah.
Changing jobs, freelance. Some of those
Yeah.
people you interact with in the day-to-day office space, they're, faces at the water cooler, walking by, different cubicle. You probably worked a little bit from home. These people look pretty familiar. That guy used to work with you at the bank, and you remember that guy from that startup project. And as you look through at these bodies, you do notice that they all share probably a similar occupation, to say the very least. You kind of begin to feel this like anxiousness well up inside you, and there's reach up, feel your mouth. Your teeth are a little pointier than they used to be. However, none of these bodies have puncture wounds. No. Throats have all been slit, some better than others. Some of them look like they were ripped out, others cleaner cut. Next to, from the angle now at which you are standing around this kind of central sarcophagus in this tomb, you notice a large bowl covered in and still partially filled with a crimson colored fluid. And the telltale marks upon your clothes and your face would indicate maybe you were force-fed some of this fluid. It does not look like you violently attacked or tore them out. Your fingernails, from some of these marks that were made from the ripping of a throat, your fingernails are clean. They are not jagged. You do not look to be to have been the person that perpetuated these attacks.
Okay. Ragi looks at the bodies and looks at the bowl and contemplates all of this and says, whatever's going on, I need to get out of here and I need to do it yesterday. I see familiar faces and only I could lay them to rest. I don't know what's going on, but I'd better not stick around. So he pieces all of this together, swallowing his fear and anxiety just barely enough to remember he needs to get out, and he heads towards the doors that are now unlocked.
Excellent. At that moment, as you begin to get up to the door, you do hear some noise on the other side. Voices talking. Is this the fucking place? Something to that effect. And we cut away from you. It's okay, Bruce. You're safe now.
Are you?
Oh, you.
Oh
I've
shit!
never heard a bigger lie in my life.
Oh shit!
Oh,
As we
a storyteller
return,
won't kill you off screen.
no, you're safe off screen. That's the golden rule of vampire. For player characters. We come back to the city of Chicago proper. A couple weeks have passed. Invitations have been sent out for an invitation to attend a more common than they used to be event at Club Nova, an Elysium of the highest repute. Everyone has received this. Mercy, Roland, Egret, you got your own invitation. You were not Roland's plus one.
Moving up.
Both
Wow.
Tony and Six, you too, of course, receive your invitation, though you had been given a verbal one. And since it is the beginning of your night, I need everybody to make a rouse check because are you hungry?
Shit.
Are you
Shit.
hungry? Except for Ygritte, who is the smartest one of all of you.
Is she?
Alright. Oh, I haven't had to push this button in a long time.
Fantastic.
Yummy,
I'm
yummy,
good.
yummy.
Survey
yummy,
says,
yummy.
fuck.
Yeah, 6 has to make rouse checks.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make rouse checks last time.
Very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very end, yeah.
I should see. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well,
Well,
Does Bragi also need to make a rouse check?
No. Braggy's
Okay, good.
full. You're good. Don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Okay. Oh, that does not instill confidence.
that's,
It
You're
shouldn't.
fine.
It definitely
that is
shouldn't.
correct.
On that lovely note, you all awake from your slumber. And this is the part of the evening where I, as the storyteller, let my voice rest and ask you, what all are you doing?
I've talked a bit. I'm going to shut up this time. I'm going to let other people go first.
Let's start with Sunspot, Little Mercy.
I don't know who you could. Oh, I guess
Ooh.
me. Okay,
Ooh,
right. Yeah, sure.
I'm going to say Sunspot's a good, like, this name.
That's fair. This is at Nova.
Well, it
one night
depends
later.
on where you spent the night.
Oh, well, that's fair. Well, there was an event, so I imagine Mercy stayed in the apartments.
Okay. That
That
sounds
would track.
very appropriate. You wake up. You, specifically you, staying in your designated room in the master suites, as you have a permanent residence should you so choose. Not quite penthouse, but pretty close. There is a small letter folded on your, like, what would be the, like, entryway table. You know that it was put there by maybe your mother, with just
Okay.
Mercy written on the cover.
Okay. She will tend to that first. What does it say?
As you open the letter, it is very clearly in the handwriting of your mother, adopted. My dearest Mercy, with court this evening, I know that there will be those in attendance that you have previously had taken issue with. I was under
She's
the...
even doing it to her face.
I was under the assumption that you might want some time to take the floor. As to that end, I wanted to let you know that I will be giving you a few moments after my opening speech, should you have something you needed to address. With love, M.
Mercy, knowing this for what it is, which is a not gentle reminder that she owes a very public apology, will sort of look at this note and be like, I got these notes from my parents when I was a human, and I really thought I was going to be beyond that. But she will set it aside, and simply dress appropriately for this occasion, not only because it is a court, but because she will be on the stage speaking after the prince publicly. And so she will put herself together in a way that is, I think, hinting at her parentage. Not that nobody knows, not that people know or anything, but throws a hint of perhaps purple because Maggie.
Good
And
choice. Good color choice.
yeah, something a little purple, but like also still very
Suck up.
very
Oh, what?
modern punk. Yeah, hell yeah. She's gonna have to apologize. Yeah. Listen, this apology is not like 100% for Annabelle. Like, couple percents go to Maggie just for causing trouble. Stop it, Miss Ma'am. There's a dog here who would really like attention, but she's 30 and I have snacks. Anyways, yes. So just she'll wear some purple, but it's very much an accent. Mercy's been kind of going out of her way to be like, I'm my own person. And while she thinks she's learned some lessons, she's not going to be overtly dramatic about it. And so she'll wear some purple, but it will be kind of an afterthought, or not an afterthought, an accent to her outfit. And she'll just present herself down to court. She, it's Nova. She's still, I imagine, employed there.
Very much so. Yeah, you very much know your way around.
Yeah. So she'll just go and start attending to the setting, as it were, making sure things are nice, that things are set up. She knows that Maggie likes to make an entrance. She'll try and make sure things are set up for that kind of thing, but...
Excellent. Roland and Egret. It's been a couple of weeks. You've done some things, you've played some gigs, you've had some fun, some conversations that were maybe not the easiest to have, but you find yourself on the eve of this court, waking, refreshed, ready to greet the night. Let us know what you're all doing.
Well, with the invitation to court, and I definitely want a front row seat to this. Here's what's gonna happen. Yes.
Ygritte is up exceptionally early. Being still a ghoul, she tends to get up in the late afternoon, but this whole thing's got her rattled getting her own invitation. So she's up early afternoon, making sure the car is gassed up, making sure the security cameras are all in check. She is visibly nervous, and she is not in her usual skinny jeans and leather jacket. She's still in slacks, but she goes for slacks and a blazer.
Nice. How does Egret feel about getting her own invitation? Knowing kind of what that means based on previous context and conversation.
She's kind of conflicted. It means a lot to her that the prince sees her with that much respect, because she knows what ghouls are supposed to be to vampires. She had been warned ahead of time by Roland. And except for the other vampires in the coterie, she always has tried to keep to that decorum. So, like, there's that little, like, inside of her of, like, the prince likes me. But she's also very nervous about what the other kindred that don't know her personally will think of this. She knows that Roland will protect her, but she doesn't want that kind of trouble.
I think that's very well said. And a very measured response. It is definitely something to be said that you in your time with this coterie, Roland in his time, you've seen the way that Magdalena tends to treat those that would historically be considered beneath her, below her. And she doesn't really have that distinction, despite her clan, which you've also, Roland, perhaps exponentially more so than Egret, is unusual, to say the least. Nevertheless, the evening's events are on the well, not the horizon. I guess the horizon. I don't know, but as time draws near, Leon, you arrived perhaps the earliest of all. Sire in tow, or you in tow to her? Which would it be? Lucy, did you freeze? Oh.
My apologies. First thing Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, okay. You arrive to Nova, the club, the place that you know of to be where you're going to put on a performance this evening. Would you be in tow to your sire, or would your sire be in tow with you?
Probably the former,
Okay.
I would say. And
So,
then my ghouls would be in tow with me.
got it. As you arrive at the door, you are greeted by a man in a suit, very nice, very well tailored suit, who you now come to know as Will. Both your sire and you, and your uh, companions. And Will says to you, looking down at a small tablet, probably not to you if you are in tow to your sire, says, "Ah, yes, you must be. Let's see. So many tonight, so many. You must be Zana. Is that correct?" And your sire gives a polite nod. She gestures a hand back to you and says, "This is my child, Leone. She will be performing this evening, and we hope to make a wonderful impression on the prince, yes?" And Will says, "Yes, very good. I will have to say your two companions will need to be in one of our rooms, if that's okay. It's not like it's more of like a green room, a backstage type area. Is that okay with you?" And Zana looks back at you, knowing your connection with the two.
Leon nods. Bon nuit. And she just kind of waves them along.
And Will kind of turns and right this way. Ladies, for you, please take a seat, and Ms. Masters will be with you. Prince Masters, excuse me, will be with you in just a moment. And kind of gestures you to have a seat at one of the tables. Your sire, kind of very elegantly and floating her way towards the table, takes a seat.
Leon would follow suit. looking far more excited to be anywhere, really, than her sire. Kind of like contained, but kind of a kid just entering an amusement park sort of energy.
Gotcha. So I think that's a good place to start. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what is going on in Leon's mind right now? You've just traveled quite a distance. You're about to perform your renowned talent for the Prince of Chicago, whom you have no prior connection with, no real information about beyond the tidbits of what your sire may have told you. How are you feeling?
She's extremely excited. They used to singing in at like concert halls, those types of venues, so far less of an intimate venue. And so it's new, it's exciting, it's usually tour bus, theater, home, tour bus, theater, home. And she's actually getting to participate in the audience more than just being a fixture at the head of it.
For anybody that would be kind of looking and seeing you enter, which there are only a couple of other kindred, perhaps, you can't really tell. What's your body language like? Are you reserved in the presence of your sire, which you always seem to be, or are you letting it get the better of you? Are you a little excited and letting it show?
It's slipping out a little. Her head is kind of, whipping from side to side, looking at the different people and all the different the sounds, the smells, the clinking of glasses at the bar. It's all brand new to her.
How would you describe how your sire treats you in these events? I imagine, at least the kind of the general vibe that I get is you're like a show pony. You are essentially paraded around for your talent, taken to maybe unlock doors for her, kind of grease palms and move mountains in a way.
She's like excessively protective. Like you do not talk to my child, or you talk to me, and then I will see about talking to my child. So she gives her a little bit of a leash, but if at any point she decides she wants to actually like go and talk to somebody, she'll just kind of like put a finger on it, like, no.
As you kind of sit here absorbing these new feelings, these new experiences, like you said, the sights, the sounds, the people, taking it all in. A petite woman comes into the room. A lovely purple gown, the deepest royal purple. She feels, as she enters the room, you can see this visible shift of the attention. You know, probably by that sort of tell, this is the prince. She doesn't make quite the beeline for the table at which you and your sire are at, but it isn't very long. She approaches, she looks first to your sire, then to you, and says, Miss Grasser, it's lovely to meet you, dear. I've heard of your arrival. I appreciate the forewarning. I can assure you, though your clan may not be the most welcome in Cam cities, in Chicago I extend my grace to all that have a clean slate. Your sire bows her head a bit. Oh yes, this is both a fascinating time for me and also for my child here. She is delighted for the opportunity to value with her singing voice. She is one of the best.
We have never been able to come to America before. I'm so
Excuse me, I'm speaking. We traveled all over the European circuit. I catch a hint of, is it English in your voice? And the prince says, yes, I am originally from London. I moved here several years back. I was fortunate enough to be here at the right time and place. And for a brief moment, you see on the prince's face kind of this faraway look in her eyes when she mentions London. You know, based on your time extensively in Europe, that London is no longer a safe city for kindred. Without missing too much of a beat, she says, yes, I've actually heard of your young protege's music before. Now, this is a classical establishment first and foremost, though we do occasionally entertain newer acts. However, Miss Leon's music, some of my personal favorite in my collection. And to this, Zana will kind of glance at you with the same kind of short smile that you get when you make her look good. That's what she likes. The princess. I would also like to put forth, since you will be staying in Chicago for some time, by the sound of your letter, I would like to insist on putting you up at one of my lovely penthouse accommodations. It'll be most comfortable and the most like you're familiar with back home. Additionally, because I know that your time in Chicago could potentially extend longer than a little bit, I would like to request perhaps some private time with your protege. Live music is always so much better than the recorded, you know. And there's this inclination in the tone of the prince that this isn't so much a request as it is, this is what it's going to be. You've seen your sire not happy before. In this scenario, in this sort of environment, you see the fake smile, you know what it means. She goes, yes, of course. I'm sure we could work something out. Some sort of arrangement could be made, yes. And Prince Master says, excellent, darling, I love it. Now, much to attend to. Miss Leon, would you care to grace the stage whenever you're ready? It should be prepped.
Of course. Thank you. And she would stand and head towards the stage.
Okay. At that time, many more of the guests begin to arrive. Roland, Egret, Tony, Six, Mercy, you finally make it down the stairs. Familiar faces begin to creep into the doorways of Nova. Along the wall, you all see what's become more of a familiar face around Nova and the Master Suites. Fee. Some of you know of the status of this person. However, no formal introduction has been made. Perhaps there will be one tonight. No one knows. Another familiar face. Newly appointed, relatively speaking. Primogen of the Tremere, Abraham de Sable.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy, one that catches your eye, with a couple of ne'er-do-wells in tow, but on their best behavior, Baron Anita Wainwright.
Is he here? Is he here?
Good question.
Awareness and wits if you'd like to check.
Oh yes, I must. With no awareness was. I haven't done this in a while. Huh? But. What difficulty 1, I assume?
Yeah, let's go with a 1. Oh, you look around. The posse, though containing several that look like they fit the part, he's not here.
Okay.
Mercy, another that you're very familiar with, comes in. Critias, Primogen of Clan Bruja, and someone that you've had lovely conversations with.
Very long
Comes in.
conversations with.
Almost immediately upon entering the room, he kind of scans around, he sees you, and his eyes light up. And he begins to walk over to have a conversation with you.
Mercy will give him a polite little bob of a curtsy as he approaches. Sir Das, it's great to see you. How are you this evening?
It's always good to be here. I've been thinking on kind of the morose nature of what we are, and he begins to ramble and go into one of his conversations. Khalid of the clan Nosferatu. Now, notably, the last time that you saw Khalid was around the time of Marcel's last night. Khalid looks a little more confident than he was that night. However, shortly following behind Khalid, and kind of engaging in conversation with the Primogen of Clan Nosferatu, you do also notice, everyone that is watching the door, another player.
Yeah.
A one Mr. Clancy, newly appointed regent, as some of you may know, of a place that many of you didn't. Other stragglers follow suit with Noah Gruel,
Hmm.
Rosa Hernandez of Clan Gangrel. The rest of the crowd that comes in, it's kind of a mix of new faces in Chicago, none that are very prominent players. There is one, though, that kind of catches your eye. And that is no, I'm not going to do that.
I don't even know what that is, but I know that. I know that feeling.
The very interesting guest that catches everyone's eye, particularly for a few of you, not dressed in this way, however, is a mortal
Fuck.
who's been
me.
invited to a vampire court,
Wow.
notably
Very quietly.
unarmed.
Very quietly. Fuck me is heard.
It echoes.
It's so fucking quiet.
You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah.
Dressed in his fanciest of puffy shirts with a little pocket square that matches, the old Irishman makes his way to the bar, mumbling things of the why the fuck did I come here? This fucking stinks. But in a polite and respectful way.
His fucking steak. Polite.
And
Decide
finally,
whether or not to fuck.
I mean, it's something that could be done. Finally, though, the two, Brett and Annabelle, make their way into the court. Now, courts are a lavish affair, full of pomp and circumstance, and all of the above and in between. We all know this. We've all been here. Some of us more recently than others. This is a collection of the most powerful kindred in the city of Chicago right now, and perhaps a dozen or more of their most trusted advisors, confidants, cohorts, retainers, and one at the head of the table, a Magdalena Masters, Prince of Chicago of Clan Ventru, stands, and without any sort of mechanical equipment or device to project, a booming voice is heard. Welcome all to the court of Chicago. These nights are filled with uncertainty on a level not seen in many, many nights. It is my belief, my desire, and most important of all, my will, that this city remain under the control of the people here and the people that will help see the ideas of these people come to fruition. It is with great honor that I invite all of you here Now, there is a small bit of business that the court must witness from one of our own. One of my own. Ms. Mercy Grace. It has come to the attention of this court and your prince that you have things that you wish to be heard. Things that would benefit the allegiances of this court and strengthen the city of Chicago. I give the floor to you. And with that, a gesture and a small bow as the hand is extended to you from where you sit next to Magdalena.
Okay, I have a quick question out
Go
of
for it.
character before
Take
we
it.
advance. And
Absolutely.
you might make me roll for it. Keeper Annabelle would be the appropriate way to address her as her. I have some insight. I could roll for it.
She is the primogen of the clan Toreador. You know that. Which would probably be another title that you should also throw in there. But yes, Keeper Annabelle could be a good start.
Okay, great, wonderful, thanks.
At this, and everybody who kind of has a hint of what's going on, so Roland, maybe Tony, definitely Will. Will is in the background, laughing his ass off. In fact, he's hiding behind. Some of you can see from the angle, but he is back there, like wiping tears from his eyes.
So, probably no one else would pick up on this, but Roland might have a little tiny camera recording this for posterity's sake.
Good to know.
Yeah, 6'2".
Okay.
Ingrid leans over to Roland and goes, "Do you got this, or do I need to pull out my phone?"
No, I got it. Shut up.
I love it. Though Maggie may have noticed this, and it might not be the most appropriate to record in court, she's going to allow it. She's not going to say a word.
Weird. That's so weird. That's so strange. So, Mercy will stand to speak, and this time, I mean, Mercy has spoken in court way more often than she really should have, and every time with like this brazen, absolute surety in herself, and
Bruja.
it's really, yeah, it's really clear this time that something is different. So she stands and she offers the court again she sometimes is very mocking with her curtsies. She thinks that we're very old school. But this is she does curtsy before the court, and it is very much a formal expression in this moment. You know, sometimes she's like, "Oh yeah, that's me," curtsies. But this is very much a bow before a court, and she seems to be taking this very seriously. And as she stands, she looks out across the room and she says, "I have a great many things to apologize for this evening. I'm afraid that in my youth and naivety, I've acted very foolishly. Unfortunately, I'm still mostly human in my experiences of this world, and my time among you is but a blink. And for some reason, I thought myself to understand the world and the court, and I was foolhardy, and enough so to challenge Keeper Annabelle, a primogen of a court, or a primogen that I have not even the grace of family with, and yet I spoke out of turn. I boldly called out disloyalty where I thought I saw it. And because of that, I acted in ways that I thought appropriate in defense of my sire. And I was wrong. It was quite unnecessary. It's come very clear to me now that I don't understand this world at all, and that my actions were beyond my scope, if nothing else, but beyond rude and beyond wrong. And so today I apologize, Keeper Annabelle, for how I've treated you. I was silly and wrong, and I hope that you will allow me the excuse of my youth to see true forgiveness, and perhaps at least neutrality as we move forward, while I go on to attempt to make up for how I have behaved. And further, in my actions, I have surely reflected poorly upon our prince and what she has taught me. It's obvious that her kindness to me and her strength had led me to believe that through her and through her guidance and her extreme power, that I too shared that power. And it is clear to me now that that is not the case. And while I appreciate the kindness this court has showed me by allowing my life to continue, my unlife, as you see, I truly am still mostly human in thought. I know better, and I seek to do better. And I hope that with this sincere apology to both this court, our prince, and again our keeper Annabelle, that perhaps I might start new. I was childish, and I acted such, and I have no more excuse to be such, and I shall strive to do better from here forward. And she will give a very low and formal curtsy to the court, and should nothing be spoken out, will take her seat quite humbly.
As you begin to take your seat, you hear Annabelle's voice. Oh dear, I wasn't even aware. I'm so sorry that you felt this way. It means so much to me that you would take the time to make this gesture of good faith. And you see a small smile approach Annabelle's lips, but she refrains from leaning into it. Brett, however, is just like he can't really turn red, but if he could, he'd be about to pop. And Critias also, you hear, "Here, here!" And he slams his hand down on the table. He goes, "We must be together these nights. There's nothing I like to see more than the youth and those wizened with age come together." And Magdalena holds up a hand. "Thank you, Critias. I do appreciate your take on the events. Some formal information to pass along as well. The position of Seneschal was vacated abruptly, and I have filled it. I would like to formally introduce all of you to my new advisor, Fee. I trust her with all matters, and should you see it fit to be brought to my attention, it can be brought to Fee's." And she gestures at Fee, and Fee quietly and very subtly and politely gives a nod. Now, more importantly, the reason that we are here, the reason that I have called this court, and the unfortunate news that I have to preside. We have lost one of our own. I do believe that I am confidently aware of why it was done. However, Sheriff Damien has been murdered. And there is a bit of uproar at this. Conversations
What?
from the back of the room that make their way
Yeah.
up to the forward
What the
tables.
fuck?
It would appear that a message is being sent. Enemies of this city, enemies of me, enemies of you all. The Sabbat incursion that happened before I became prince, under the rule of Jackson, and what led to his inevitable end. It seems that the ones perpetrating it on behalf of whom I thought was their ringleader have taken up the mantle once more. And to that end, the message was received loud and clear. What I can say at this time is that I hope to put together a group to address this issue in Chicago, to at least root out those creating the problems, because it would appear that a Sabbat incursion at this very moment could be cataclysmic for the city. And there's a brief look to you, Tony. Especially now, it is more important than ever that we police ourselves, that we maintain the masquerade, and that we root out all those that would defy it, that would break it. And there is in this pause, this moment of perhaps a genuine, or as genuine as you can get at this court, moment of quiet respect. I knew Sheriff Damien when I first came to this city. He was a good man. He was a good kindred. He treated me well. And it is because of that that we must do what is necessary to honor his memory and avenge what was done to him. I will be formally declaring this night a blood hunt upon all Sabbat members in this city. For those of you too young to understand what that means, if you encounter a Sabbat agent or even a rogue element, you have the full permission, the full backing, and the full support of this court to give them their final death by any means necessary, as long as the masquerade is maintained. For those of you old enough to recall the last time that these events happened, may it weigh heavily on your consciences and motivate you to put an end to it. If there is any business left to attend to, please say it now. And she will look around the room slowly.
Tony wouldn't say a word, but when Maggie catches his eye, they're like, there's no whites to it. It's solid black.
Give me awareness and wits.
Me?
Yep.
Okay.
Because that is an ability, correct?
In this case, no, he's just pissed.
Okay. Okay, well in that case, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, the same when she makes eye contact. With Roland. He makes eye contact with her like, what? I just lost my jam partner. On top of the
Fuck,
sheriff.
that's right.
Fuck.
Yeah. Again, I will not kill player characters off screen. However, if the dice don't like you off screen and you are an NPC, it is not a guarantee that you are going to come back. One final bit of information that I wish to pass along. We are returned by two of our former friends, kindred of Chicago. Welcome back to us, Mr. Antonius Giovanni and his consort 6. The two of them have proven their service in this city time and time again. And that is why, despite the fact that I have the final say, I would like to put it to a vote to formally acknowledge Mr. Giovanni as the de facto primogen overseeing the empty seat that Marcel once held. And she will once again look at the other primogens specifically. Tony, I need you.
Oh, no. Shit. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
I need you to give me Are you trying to maintain your composure?
He is attempting to look as expressionless as a lower humanity vampire can. He's trying to let the corpse-like appearance work for him.
I would like for you to give me performance composure.
Oh. So I'm just gonna have to go off composure.
I will give you a +1 because your suit's fancy.
It is fancy. Okay,
Fancy as a
so
funeral.
1, so modifier 1. Difficulty.
Put 0. I know the difficulty. I'm not going to tell you.
I'll put 1 just in case I fail it.
That'll work.
Probably gonna fail.
Hey,
What?
pretty good.
Okay, he's trying.
In this moment, if you could sweat, it'd be really bad. But you can't, so you're good.
A vampire can't sweat, but it's blood. That would be bad.
That's fair.
It'd be really, really bad.
You maintain your composure. You see these eyes of these primogens look upon you. You had previously wanted this position. This was something that you had aspired to, correct?
It precisely was, yes.
You told Maggie this. Maggie remembers these things. If there are no dissenting votes, I see it only fit to award Mr. Giovanni the de facto, for as long as he will grace us with his presence, title of Amicus Curiae a representative of the Ministry of the Camarilla of the city, a ministry to the Camarilla in the city of Chicago, and a representative of the caitiff and the thin bloods, and those without a primogen on council, specifically under the banner of Hecata. As we do have our Mr. Gruel here, as the representative officially recognized as the primogen of the thin bloods. We are seeing more and more wayward souls wander into this city. I want this city to be a welcoming one for all clans and creeds. I have never purported anything else. Those of you who know me know this to be true. However, those of you who know me even cursorily know that the protection of those that I care about, the protection of this city is paramount. I will not hesitate to crush the enemies of Camarilla and Chicago. Spread this information to all that will listen. There is a war coming. It is not a question of if, but when. When that day comes, let us hope that our numbers have grown and that our clans remain united as one. Now, I would also like to introduce a guest of mine. A very special treat. The renowned singer, Leone. My apologies. If there is no further business to discuss, please enjoy your evening. And with that, the prince will give a slight nod to the group, and everyone delves into conversations of their own, as well as Leone.
Two things happen.
Two things happen.
The first would be the first song she starts out with is Un bel de Verdremo from Madame Butterfly. Great song.
Ooh.
And am I going to have to roll anything for that? Or are we going to just say it happens?
You are renowned in this talent of yours. It is one of the main reasons that your sire chose you. You are confident. If you would like to give it your 110%, I will let you make a roll for it. However, if you do not wish to and you wish to make a comfortable performance, you are absolutely more than welcome to.
The minute that is over, the band starts up with something that her sire has not heard before. And anybody looking on YouTube, since we can't play it through the Twitch, Goddess by Raf Scrap on YouTube. Another amazing song. This is just Leon's little bit of rebellion, singing an unapproved song.
And in this very public space,
Mm-hmm.
you do see that it turns many heads. You are the center of the night for this time. that you are performing this song on stage. Though your other music was notable, and many people were like, "Oh, I do know this. This was someone I have heard." There is a noticeable shift in the attention away from the private little conversations to you when you strike up this new song. One of the most notable eyes that fall upon you would be your lovely sire, whom I don't believe we have shown
I'm in
just
trouble.
yet. But as you all look around, you see a woman sitting at a table, and the glare that she is giving the woman on stage is something Mercy probably knows pretty well. It is
Wait,
one of
what are you trying to say?
it is one of to put it very mildly, a perturbance. So, the events of the court go well. No notable events happen for the rest of the remainder of the evening. And it is about midnight or so that the court begins to disband. Goodbyes are said, pleasantries exchanged, thanks for coming, appreciate it, all that, and I get out, goodbye. And a select few of you were asked to stay. It might shock you to know that it's everybody in this call.
Oh.
Additionally, as the crowds are dispersing and the people are leaving through their various means and methods, Mercy, you feel the tap on your shoulder. Two very long, pointy-nailed fingers come down. I've loved our conversations this past week. I do hope you're planning to continue them.
Of course, I find myself quite entertained to spend my time learning more about the world that I don't see, I suppose. But frankly, the fact that you continue to speak to me is an honor, and I appreciate it.
Despite my charming demeanor, I do find the company of you above ground dwellers to be delightful at times. And I will say that the respect that you've shown me and the people that I look after is, well, it's enough to make this old heart beat once or twice, maybe.
You flatter me. It's in fact what got me in trouble in the first place was the way I feel address should be given to each who joins our court, and the differing ways that other people approach such things is how I ended up in some trouble of my own. And so to see that it is not always unappreciated is wonderful. But I think it is important. I think it is important that we all have an equal voice, and I find yours to be quite entertaining.
Fortunately for you and me, our prince agrees, unlike the previous one who pretended to agree. It is Always a pleasure. And you feel the presence leave more than you see it. Additionally,
I just saw Dog's face.
There's a lot going on.
there's a lot going on. I apologize to
No,
you,
this is
Bruce.
great.
I see you sitting up there like, oh my god, is this all this stupid game is? Yep, sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, he had time to become
I'm
less
tired.
terrified.
I feel it. I
Yeah.
understand.
The adrenaline wore off a little bit. I was.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The terror adrenaline.
Before Annabelle leaves, Roland will
Oh.
go have a conversation with her.
Yes. She turns to you, and I appreciate the invitations these last few nights.
Well, I figured that we got off on a bad foot, so I figured we could retry again.
She kind of leans in and kind of, in this motion where her head is very smooth, she kind of looks around to make sure that everyone's mostly out of earshot and says, well, trauma bonding, we'll do that to you, you know. More importantly, I could have been a little harsh when you came to the city. I think a fresh start, with some caveats carved out for recent events, is not out of the question.
No, that is music to my ears.
Yes, well. And with that same sinister smile, she goes, give Brett your details. He'll pencil you in. And she leaves. Brett, trailing behind her several steps, goes, I fucking hate it here, man. And then he just walks out too.
Oh, good.
The thing is, he already has my details, so I'm not.
I know. He knows. He knows you know. He knows
Yeah.
you know he knows. Yep. Magdalena at this moment in time is talking to Zana, the woman that you can presume is with. Yes.
Can I retroactively add something in that I forgot to do?
Mm-hmm.
You got my message, the last one, right?
Let me shift over to whatever screen that could be on. One moment.
Because I don't want to do something without the approval of this.
The under the collar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so while she was singing the second song, before she started, she took off her collar similar to this one, and underneath was a second mouth that harmonized with her first one.
Well,
I hate that.
know what
Thank
clan
you.
that is.
You see,
Awesome. Also,
you see through the mix of crowd and things. There have been many people keeping your sire busy, keeping her attention off of you, which has been a boon in its own way. You've been able to mingle and you've been able to talk and speak.
Human interaction.
Well, kindred, but yes,
it's close to the.
the
At this point, you take anything.
as the crowd thins. Okay, hold on a minute, because that little squeak that just happened was synced up perfectly to the GIF that is repeating in the Discord that I just happened to open. And since you can
Not
see
mine
it,
intended.
It is
my intention.
hilarious, and it almost made me lose my shit. I must hold on. I gotta regain a bit of composure here.
So as people are leaving,
Uh-huh.
Roland's just gonna go up and play closing time on the piano.
Okay.
All right. I'll allow it.
Oh.
As the crowd thins, you see the prince speaking with your sire. Noticeably, she is upset.
Which one? Which she?
The sire of
Okay.
Leone.
Leon.
I want to say Leone. I'm so
It is
sorry.
a gender-neutral name.
Leon.
Leon.
Okay. Leon sire.
You can lay on me.
Lay on these nuts.
She, as the conversation becomes more audible, you can hear go, yes, Prince, I understand this. However, this is a bit unorthodox. I must say, I do not like this. I'm going to have to protest. I'm sorry, but this is not acceptable.
At that point, Leon would come up. What is the matter? Angry.
The prince would like to borrow you for this group. She feels that you have the insight that is needed, and I don't know if you do.
Mercy would be attempting to listen in on this conversation from a distance.
You can hear it.
Well,
we can just hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Okay.
It would be
Closing time sounds really good, Roland.
it would be a politeness to aid the prince who has so graciously housed us and shielded us. Do you not think? It would be rude to refuse.
At this, you see the anger behind the eyes, but it is not shown. She is familiar with how things work. Maggie senses this. She speaks up and says, if it would reassure you, I would be happy to place her in the care of my very own child, as a matter of fact.
Safe as can be. Correct, Prince?
Oh, incorrect. She's a bit of a loose cannon, but perhaps your demeanor can...
Quite a loose cannon. Leon is just going...
I'm actually
have a sister.
hoping that your passive and docile demeanor will rub off onto her, though I don't expect it will. Nevertheless, Miss Grassu, as you are a guest in my city, and because my generosity is as wonderful as it is, I have ensured that those that could be watchful eyes, they will not fall on you this way, to no great expense, both politically and financially. I believe the least that you could do is loan me your child every few nights or so to work with my team and acclimate to potentially your future home.
Matt, you did say that this was just basically audible if we were in the room, right?
Correct.
As if to
Though it's starting to compete
in-
with closing time, you can't really...
a little bit. As if to kind of enhance Maggie's thing. Right about that time, Tony's chair does the and he slowly stands up to his full height, looking the way he does. And very slowly starts making his way over towards the prince as if an important conversation is going to happen, and hoping that the body language will attempt to resolve the situation quickly, kind of force this, from everything that everyone has seen, abusive sire into agreeing like she's out of time.
As you do make your movement, it is audibly heard. Many around that are remaining, mostly just the group here, hears it, pays attention. Roland might play a wrong note. Just one, slightly. However, you aren't necessarily needed. As Magdalena stands there, Leon, you see this as well in great detail. You see a shift in the prince. There's a ripple across her skin, and she looks at your sire's eyes, deep, and she goes, "Trust me. I look after my blood. I will assure you that your child will be taken care of." And just leaves it there on that breathless last note. And you see your sire shift to
Leon would.
this strange kind of what the fuck is going on face that you may not have seen very much. And you pick it up as well. Your clan is a unique one in the city of Chicago. But a little bit of your clan might have made its way into the prince. And after this moment, after this shift, if you'd like to say anything, that you're welcome to. But your sire almost immediately says, "You have been a gracious host. Your agreement is acceptable. I will be waiting in my room, Leon. Do not forget your things." And she begins to walk away towards what you presume is the way to the suites, the room.
Leon takes a few steps towards her sire and turns back to Maggie and just goes, and then runs off.
As you run off, Maggie goes, "A moment." She looks at each one of you, brings you close, silently beckoning you with the fingers. "We are almost done. Just as a quick aside, I apologize for the lateness."
This is great.
So she tells Leon to stay.
Yes.
Okay, she
You
does.
are being told to stay. It is you, Tony, Mercy, Six, Roland, and Egret.
Dun, 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 dun. And then he gets off the piano.
Oh my
I love
god.
that for us.
You bunch of chuckle fucks. That's not canon.
Listen, we're all separate
she
right now,
thinks
so we don't have
it.
all these
Not canon.
bullshit in the corners, you know? Once we're all one group, it'll be harder.
She looks to you all and says, "From the discussions that were presented here, you all understand what I'm asking you to do. Yes?"
investigate who killed Sheriff Damien and bring
Yes.
him to justice.
Yes. I do apologize for your loss, Roland.
Yes.
This message...
Never easy.
I did not want to bring it up in court because of the impropriety and the social standing of such an event. Now that I have you here in private, I will tell you that Sheriff Damien was dropped upon my doorstep with a message carved in his back, fading away into dust when Will found him. The remaining parts of the message that were legible before he met his final death were: beware the six, for we are harbingers. I understand that this is a horrible way to find out that someone that you all knew, or most of you, is no longer with us.
If she cares to look, Maggie would notice that Yeagert's crying.
You don't know.
Emotion.
Maggie doesn't...
And she's the only one in the room that can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You all have the resources that you need. However, if you need more, you know who you can call. I have many things that need attending. These nights are very dangerous. They could be more so at any moment. For what it is worth, I ask that you all take caution. On the same coin, we need to burn these motherfuckers out of this city, one way or the other. And preferably, because it's been a minute, I would love to get my hands dirty. However, again, very busy. Please, Fee is like a daughter to me. Not in the same way as you, Mercy.
So many strays.
She will be loyal, and if you would tell it to me, you can tell it to her.
Tony meets her eyes and gives her a look of like, it's easy to read. It's like, you sure?
Maggie meets your eyes and goes, maybe not everything,
Understood.
but I believe that you understand.
Yes.
The last known location where I had Damien looking for information about this Sabbat incursion, as I regretfully am likely the reason he was where he was the cemetery out by wherever the hell Braggy was. And that's where we'll end it.
Okay. So quick question: Is it Graceland?
Could be.
Fuck, I own that. This is my problem.
Well,
Sounds like
I need
Tony's
to have a
got some
conversation.
rats.
Oh, there's going to be a whole bunch of shit.
Tony's
But
got some rats to flush out.
Oh boy, I am so happy and pissed at the same time. This is great.
Poor Tony's been,
Fuck
been
Annabelle.
gone.
Anyways, I'm sorry, not in character.
Tony,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't have a book with you, would you, by any chance?
On hand tonight with all of these lovely chuckle fucks
Mhm.
nearby? No, he would not have brought that here.
Okay. All right.
Don't rub yourself on that.
Bruce, I do apologize for the long court. It seems that always these seasons start with a court, and it is always long and always what it is. And so I understand that
that's
it
good.
can be what it is. I hope that you had a good time in your first adventure into the world of darkness with us.
You scared?
Oh, I did.
It's gonna get
the
worse.
adrenaline wore off.
It's gonna get worse.
Wonderful.
And
I'm gonna need a
I
lot
had-
of coffee.
Full tremors while giving my apology speech.
that's wonderful to hear.
Honestly,
As a
I was
note,
like, the player and character went from like, oh yeah, sure, okay, to fully impressed by the end. That was pretty great.
it was good. Did you write it down beforehand, or was that all out of your butt?
I only wrote part of it,
Okay.
but I wrote part of it while you were saying like, "Okay, Maggie's talking. It'll be your turn soon." It's like, fuck, I should have something here.
The spark notes.
I need the spark notes.
I've
to-
heard
to
of this.
reference.
Some sort of electrified notes of some kind. I don't understand them.
Like sticky notes, only better.
As a note, normally, and this is mostly for Lucy and Bruce, normally at the end of game there will be some time in between where we do downtimes, which can earn you an additional XP point, and at the end of a game you will get 2 experience. At the end of this game, you get 2. You participated, you did a lot of fun stuff, hopefully, and had a good time. You get 2 experience. However, because next week will pick up at this moment when we were leaving off, you are unable to spend such experience because you can only spend your XP in a downtime. So, to that end, write down that you've gained 2 XP, but you won't get to spend it until later.
Damn.
Now, it also means, because we are going to be picking up the exact moment that we cut off here next week, that you cannot do any downtime writing to gain that additional XP this week. I apologize. But I hope to see y'all back here next Monday or whenever we play. I know how people's schedules are. But I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys are excited.
Yeah.
And I hope you appreciate that this is what number 1 was on the dice that Tug rolled for everybody to start this adventure.
That was a thing.
So,
You killed him.
You killed him.
Madra.
Do you feel good about yourself?
I feel like it was a dice. It's the dice.
Uh-huh.
It's the dice. It's the
Can't
dice.
control the dice. For what it's worth, he couldn't have saved Damien. Damien had rolled poorly in the interim. There was nothing Damien could have done. So,
Okay, I only pretend to hold it against players.
he did, though.
Now, non-player characters.
As he died, he did have in his phone Roland's number brought up, and he was like, "Why didn't you answer?" And then he died. That was.
Don't do that, motherfucker.
I'm just fucking with you. It's fun.
Well, that's not helpful.
No. He was sadly a messenger. To that end, I hope everybody had a good time. I had a lot of fun running this game, telling this
Thank
story,
you
and I
again.
appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you
Oh,
so
it's
much.
nice to get back in the swing. Thanks for bringing us back.
Yep.
Yep. Here we go. This is a fun
I
one.
got to investigate. Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you're gonna have to
got
do some
plans. Now I have plans.
investigation stuff.
I've got no idea what's going on.
Nope,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's by
okay.
design. That's you're not
Kid.
supposed to know. That's the more fun part. So I'm going to stop the recording.